Let's talk about the Walt Disney Company, which owns TV networks ABC and ESPN, the big sports network, theme parks and resorts, and of course it has the consumer products division.
Right, so if you like that theme that we've been talking about and you're looking for investment avenues, Disney is certainly up there because it has those businesses. The core of the business is in fact the ESPN and the ABC stuff. Some of the other things like princess costumes for your daughter, very big sellers and much beloved, but not necessarily a big revenue contributor.
Yes, I'm definitely into the princess costumes at the moment for my daughter. We're looking at a market cap here of $168.8 billion, a PE ratio of 18.8 and a dividend yield of 1.5%. Can you ignore the big boy in the media space?
You can't. I mean, this is the quintessential media company. The IP that they own is just incredible. Disney is timeless and all the different parts. And they've been buying up Star Wars, for example, is a really great franchise that they've bought. And they're able to monetize these franchises, film, merchandise, etc. So that side is very vibrant, all the Disney characters, but you can't ignore ESPN and this theme of what's happening. So ESPN is really a big contributor to this business. What's happening is everything is going online, as we've spoken about, and digital. And ESPN is a cable business, and they're losing subscribers. It's quite expensive, and you can substitute it with something else. Netflix is obviously the obvious one that will come into this conversation. So what you're finding is a huge margin squeeze, unfortunately, in ESPN. The rights for the sports are becoming much more expensive because live television is about sports, and you can't really record live television sports events because it's a damn squib to watch a recorded
once you know
soccer
the results,
match.
yeah. Exactly.
So those events are becoming coveted and very expensive. So you're getting this margin squeeze where the cost of buying these rights are much more expensive and you're losing revenue on the other side and therefore advertising. So quite a tough space for Disney.
It's a pity that we aren't actually able to, in this conversation, talk about 15 different companies, because Netflix would definitely be there, Amazon with its Prime offering would be there, because remember, people are watching those series like Game of Thrones, people are going mad.
There's this binge viewing, which people are into at the moment.
But sport remains very, very powerful, and Disney does have a great position in that. Remember, the way it gets sold is Comcast and all these other network, Time Warner and other cable providers buy ESPN in order to insert it into their bouquet. But as Lance says, recently they've lost a little bit of the allure. The margins are tight, it's tricky. So at the moment it's causing, let's go to the share chart and see what Disney's been doing.
Chart. There we go.
Some of those wobbles in the middle related to the news, precisely, that ESPN had been losing a few subscribers. That's where a bouquet owner says, you know what, I'm going to drop ESPN from my offering and I'm going to just lose the $15 or $20 or whatever it is that you have to pay Disney in order to own that.
So where's the recovery in this with the challenges that are facing the company? What does the company need to do?
Look, the studios still make an enormous amount of money, and you mentioned Star Wars, but it's also all of the Marvel range, all of the Pixar movies, lots of animated, huge successes.
Frozen,
so
that's the one I was trying to remember when you said princess dresses.
So they've got lots of great assets inside them. It really is, what is the outlook for the business as a whole? That side of the business is a bit content driven, so it's a little bit bumpy where you have a success and then you maybe not have a success. So it's not really a smooth, nice business model, although it is a good business, but it can be a bumpy ride. It's the digital, coming back to your question. Can they convert ESPN to a digital offering and capitalize on that and say, yes, we're going to lose the traditional cable subscribers, but we're going to have a digital offering. And ESPN have just launched that digital offering. You've almost got to cannibalize yourself to be successful in this business sometimes. Will they get it right at this valuation? That really is the question.
And finally, the parks and resorts are not unimportant. You know, they've opened a new Disneyland, Disney World, I'm not sure what it's called, in Shanghai, which has got 300 million people within an hour and a half from it. So that's potentially also a significant contributor.
You've got to call it hot or not. Lance?
I'm not at this valuation.
Paul, are you hot, sir?
I'm going to tip hot just because I think they've got the assets, and Bob Iger, the CEO, is a very experienced hand. I reckon they can pull it off, so I'm going to go hot on this one.